Imagine this. You wake up. Not the slow, groggy awakening of ordinary mornings, but a violent splitting of consciousness, as if your mind has been pried open by invisible hands. The room looks the same. The clock ticks as it always has. But something is wrong. A whisper slithers through your thoughts. Nothing you believe is real. You dismiss it. Of course your beliefs are real. You've built your life on them. Your politics, your morals, your very identity are anchored in what you know to be true, but then the cracks begin to show. That ideology you defend with fervor, you've never truly questioned it. That moral code you cling to, it was handed to you, fully formed like a prison uniform disguised as wisdom. The story you tell yourself about who you are, a patchwork of second-hand ideas stitched together by forces you never consented to. Here's the unbearable truth. Most of what you call truth is not yours. It's borrowed, inherited, implanted. You were never free, you were scripted. The great contradiction. We live in an age of unprecedented information, yet delusion is the default state of the human mind. We worship critical thinking while reciting dogma like monks in a digital monastery. We pride ourselves on skepticism, except toward the very foundations of our own beliefs. Why? Because the lies you call truth aren't just false ideas, they're psychological survival mechanisms. To question them is to risk the unthinkable, staring into the abyss of your own unknowing. So you cling to them. You defend them. You kill, for them, even when they strangle you, the questions that will haunt you. What if your deepest convictions are not the result of reason, but conditioning? How many of your choices were engineered by unseen forces? Who would you be if every borrowed belief was ripped away? This is not an intellectual exercise. This is psychological warfare. The battlefield? Your mind the enemy? The lies you've mistaken for yourself. The lead into madness. This is only the beginning. Because the deeper you dig, the more horrifying the revelation. You don't just believe lies, you love them. And that changes everything. You don't have beliefs. Beliefs have you. They slither into your mind before you can speak, before you can resist, before you even know what a mind is. By the time you're aware enough to question them, they've already fused with your nervous system, masquerading as common sense, as morality, as reality itself. But where do they come from? The manufacture of reality. Every society survives by convincing its members that its fictions are facts. Money isn't paper, it's value. Borders aren't imaginary, they're sacred. Your identity isn't a story, it's who you are. These are not truths. They are collective hallucinations enforced by repetition, reward, and, when necessary, violence. Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious, the inherited myths that whisper beneath your thoughts. Friedrich Nietzsche tore apart morality as nothing more than the prejudices of the powerful, dressed up as divine law. Jean-Paul Sartre warned that most people don't choose, they perform the choices expected of them. You were never given a map of reality. You were given a script, and you've been reciting it ever since. The comfort of delusion. Why don't you break free? Because the mind craves certainty, even when it's poisonous. Psychological studies reveal something terrifying. The human brain would rather believe a comfortable lie than endure an unbearable truth. Cognitive dissonance forces you to twist reality rather than admit you're wrong. Confirmation bias ensures you only see what confirms what you already know. The backfire effect means that when your beliefs are challenged, you don't adjust, you double down. This isn't ignorance, this is self-defense. Your mind would rather die than admit it's been enslaved. The invisible cage, the most dangerous. Lies are the ones you don't see as lies. Political ideologies that you didn't choose, but absorbed from your environment. Religious dogmas you inherited before you could question them. Social norms that dictate what you desire, who you love, how you suffer. You think you're free because you can choose your chains, but real freedom isn't about options, it's about seeing the prison. The philosophers who saw through the veil Arthur Schopenhauer argued that most people mistake the boundaries of their perception for the boundaries of the world. Aldous Huxley warned that we drown in irrelevance, pacified by pleasure and trivialities. Viktor Frankl discovered in the Holocaust that even in hell, the last freedom is choosing. How you see your suffering. They all realize the same thing. Reality is negotiable, but only if you're willing to burn down your own mind first. The turning point. This is where most people stop. The weight of this realization is too much. The terror of unknowing is worse than the comfort of delusion. But you're still reading, which means something in you wants to see what's next. The lies you believe are not passive. They are alive. They do not sit quietly in your mind. They act. They shape what you see, what you feel, how you love, how you suffer. They decide before you do what you will fight for and what you will die for. And you call this freedom. The illusion of autonomy. You wake each morning believing you are the author of your life. But every choice you make has been pre-filtered by cultural conditioning. What is normal, neurological. Programming what feels right. Invisible incentives. What is rewarded or punished. The modern world did not free you. It simply gave you more elaborate chains. Example, you choose your career. But were you ever truly free? Your parents' expectations shaped you. Economic fears limited you. Social validation steered you. You picked from a menu you didn't design. The cognitive trap. Your brain is not designed to see reality. It is designed to survive. This creates terrifying blind spots. The narrative instinct. Your mind cannot tolerate chaos. So it invents stories to explain the unexplainable. You'd rather believe a coherent lie than face meaningless chaos. The emotion override. When facts clash with identity, identity wins. This is why debates change no one's mind. You're not fighting ideas, you're fighting sense of self, the certainty addiction. The brain prefers wrong answers to no answers. This is why conspiracy theories flourish. They offer simple explanations for complex pain. The cultural machine society is not neutral. It is a belief factory. Education systems that teach what to think, not how media ecosystems that profit from your outrage and fear, economic structures that make truth-telling unprofitable. You are not just believing lies, you are paying for the high privilege, the ultimate irony. The greatest lie of all, that you are immune to this, that others are brainwashed, but you see clearly. This is the final psychological lock on the cage. Now you see the mechanisms, now you feel the weight. The question is no longer what is true, but what will you do with this knowing? The moment you realize you've been programmed is the moment the programming starts to fail. But realization alone isn't freedom. It's just the spark. Now comes the fire. The first law of liberation. You cannot think your way out of a prison built of thoughts. This is why most awakened people remain trapped. They try to debate their way to freedom while still operating within the system's logic. True rebellion requires cognitive arson, burning down the mental structures you inherited, experiential overwrite, creating new neural pathways through direct experience, existential insurgency, living as if you're already free, the deconstruction. Manual Step 1. Identify the invisible scripts. What beliefs do you hold that you've never truly stress-tested? When was the last time you changed your mind about something fundamental? What opinions do you express that simply echo your social circle? Step 2. Induce controlled cognitive dissonance. Read the smartest arguments against your deepest convictions. Spend time with people whose worldviews terrify you. Practice saying aloud, "I might be completely wrong about this." Step 3. Reclaim your attention. Your focus is the battleground where wars are won or lost. Conduct a digital purge. Every input shapes your outputs. Develop tolerance for boredom. The mind's detox period, the Qi. Warrior philosophies. History's greatest liberators didn't fight systems. They transcended them. Diogenes lived in a barrel to prove how little we truly need. Nietzsche became his own god when he declared the old one dead. The Stoics turned obstacles into fuel. Their weapon wasn't rebellion. It was sovereignty. The practices of the free thought experiments as weapons. Spend a week assuming all your political beliefs are wrong. Imagine your religion is false. How does life look now? What if your deepest fears are actually your path? Behavioral defiance break. Small social norms and observe your anxiety. Wear something inappropriate. Speak truths in spaces that demand lies. Reality testing. Travel alone to places that shatter your worldview. Learn a skill that terrifies you. Create art that would embarrass your former self. The paradox of freedom. True liberation isn't about destroying all chains. It's about choosing your constraints consciously. The rebel's path. See the programming, shatter the illusions, then deliberately build what serves your highest self, the point of no return. This is where most turn back. The weight of existential responsibility crushes them. But you're still here, which means part of you is already free and hungry for the final revelation. You've walked through the fire of deconstruction. You've burned away illusions. Now comes the most terrifying revelation of all. There is no truth to find, only choices to make. The void at the center, every system, every philosophy, every belief structure, is ultimately a raft on an infinite ocean. Some rafts are sturdier than others, some will keep you afloat longer, but none are land. The existentialists knew this. Sartre called it the unbearable lightness of being. Camus said, "The only serious question is whether to kill yourself." Nietzsche warned, "When you stare into the abyss, it stares back." This isn't despair, it's raw material. The God problem. Humanity keeps trying to solve the equation of existence by adding God variables, religious gods, political gods, scientific gods, self-help gods. But the equation was never incomplete. We just couldn't handle its perfect emptiness. Here's the secret. Meaning isn't found. It's forged. The liberating lie, the final paradox. You must believe your own lies to survive, but you must know their lies to be free. The mature mind holds this tension, absolute skepticism and absolute commitment, total uncertainty and decisive action, knowing nothing matters and behaving as if everything does. This is what Jung called the transcendent function, the ability to hold opposites together until a higher truth emerges. The art of self-creation. The real work begins. Become your own mythmaker. What story would you tell if no one was listening? What values would you hold if you were the last human? What would you die for if no one would remember? Build your personal religion, sacred texts, the books that shape you, rituals, habits that elevate you, saints, the dead who guide you. Embrace holy inconsistency. Allow yourself to contradict yesterday's self. Let your philosophy evolve like a living organism. Become multiple people across your lifetime. After all the searching, all the deconstruction, all the rebellion, you were always free. You just didn't know it, because freedom isn't a place you arrive at. It's a way of moving through the world, like a fish searching for water, like a bird trying to find air. Now that you know, what will you do with your freedom? Will you build or burn, create or criticize, love or dominate? The choice was always yours. The responsibility is crushing. The opportunity is infinite. The work begins. This isn't an ending. It's your first real morning. The lies are dead. The truth is yours to invent. Now live.